Atas penjelasan tu Puan Manisah. Panelis saya seterusnya ialah Mr. Martin Ang. Now Martin, you have been with Julie. You know, everybody, I think all Malaysian know the Julie biscuit. I myself, saya kalau every year saya nak masak, I'm a baker, right? I bake Sarawak cake, kek lapis. Saya guna you punya biskut meri tu. So then I realised Julie ada that brand, and then that is what I use. So Julie ni is satu brand yang tak perlu diperkenalkan. I mean everybody knows Julie. And you Martin, you have been with Julie for more than 30 years, and you oversee this global brand being sold in more than 80 countries. And you also are the president of the Malaysian Consortium of Mid-Tier Companies, MCMTC, and you are also the founder of Global Business Synergies Neighborhood. So this company you set up to help companies, SME or mid-tier company, to help them, to guide them to internationalize their business, correct? Yeah, okay. I am interested in your, you have this philosophy. Your philosophy is, you say that if we don't eat it ourselves, we shouldn't let others eat it, which is, I think, that is very ethical, very noble. So I'm impressed with that, your philosophy. So my question to you is that, what are some of the key strategies that you have used to keep the Julie's brand and quality consistent across so many different markets?
Okay, thank you, Diana. Well, today I'm very happy to be here because this morning when I came here, I see a lot of women. Alright, so this is the power of women. Let's give a round of applause to women. Okay, I hope that more women will come to event carried out by Madrid. Yes. Okay, come back to the question. This brand is 40 over years, and the journey to the 40 over years, to be frank with you, from unknown to known. Okay, in a way. So I'm sure, Malaysian, many people have heard about this brand. Those who have not heard of this brand, after when I go off, please come and see me, you know. So I provide some biscuits for you. Okay, so, 20 years ago, we are only exporting to just less than 20 countries, all right? But today, we are close to 90 countries. But how do we achieve all these kind of things, to be frank? I'm sure you'd like to hear the story about what is happening now. But what about what is happening 20 years ago? Right? That is very important because the time, who is actually Julie? Malaysia may be a little bit of known and unknown, okay? But in the world, not many people know us, to be frank. So how to bring this thing to the world? And I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia can produce, I would say Malaysia, generally, most of them can produce world-class standard products. Will you believe me? I cannot hear you. Will you believe me now?
Yes.
Why I say so? Because many Malaysians, I would say that their product, I think they are very good. But the only thing that how they want to market abroad. Okay? And Julie, that time when we are just less than 20 countries, we want to move to many countries, but we don't know what to do, honestly. And at the end of the day, we think that, okay, they love, many Malaysians say that, yeah, I love your this biscuit, I love your this biscuit, peanut butter, or your love letter or something like that. Yeah, this is Malaysian people say only, but overseas, no one knows. Okay, but anyway, we participate a lot of international shows, alright? We know that we need to bring it out to outside Malaysia, so we went to many places, and of course not easy. A lot of trial errors, and many people tasted our product and then decided, hey, this is nice, and a lot of them say, where did this came from? And I say Malaysia. All right, and to be frank, 20 plus years ago, many people depend on which country. When I talk about Malaysia, not many people know about Malaysia. No, that is 20 plus years ago. All right, especially in the West, okay? And we try our best to give more people taste our product. But let me remind you something, once we get someone that they are very keen, that, okay, they want to explore into the product, that kind of thing. Before you start doing business with them, I always advise you that if you can, please invite them to come to your factory. All right? If you can, please invite them, because we have tried many lessons, and I will tell you very frank that out of 10 agents we get, I would say 70% fail. All right? Because beginning they think that your product is good, they take it, and at the end of the day, they just do whatever they can as the distributors. But remember, all the distributors in all the agents, they don't only sell your product, they sell many other kind of product as well, because they are the distributors. So what I mean by bringing them to the factory, because we want them to come and have a look how we process everything, and at the same time, we also share with them that how you want to market my product in your country. Right? At the same time, we also share with them how we promote in other countries. All right? Let them see, let them know, because not one pack size suits the whole world. All right? Don't always think that I have one good product, the whole world can accept it. No, not necessary.
So,
okay? Maybe each country has their own requirement.
Right. So meaning that what are you trying to share here is that your strategy must be always evolving, right? Different market, different depending on the dynamic of the market, not just the dynamic of the market, dynamic of the taste. It also depend on, you are trying to build the trust in your customer by bringing them to your factory. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you see, most of them they are all distributor trading company in their mind, because they are all salespeople, right? And they feel that they want to sell something that they feel comfortable, they want to sell something that much easier in a way. So many of them, they take the product, they thought that it's easier to sell in a way. But to be frank, because when your product, Julie brand in Malaysia may be known, but when you go abroad, nobody knows this brand. Unless you had to spend a lot like marketing, that kind of thing, but it will take time. Not many Malaysian people can put the money up front. Okay, I'm sure none of them can just put up front the money, say, hey, look here, you promote my brand, I give you the money right now and promote, you know. So, it takes time. Anyway, so as you know, that Julie brand, it's just like, it's the name of the ladies, okay? So when I send it to the overseas there, mean to say is, I give it to one of the country to sell my product. So this little Julie go into the country, mean to say, I'm actually getting this agent to take care of my little Julie. Alright? So I need to help my little girl to ensure that my little girl survive in the country. So how to do that?
Okay, Martin, I'll get back to you. It's very interesting. You have very insightful tips and also words of encouragement to all our ladies here. Usahawan, I'll get back to you later. We will continue the discussion. So my next panelist is actually Miss Xiao Chan. She is the head of marketing, Spritzer, and she brings more than 20 years of experiences in this fast-moving consumer goods across global brands, for example, Unilever, Lee Kum Kee, and Adler Food. And currently at Spritzer, she is heading this Spritzer Global Brand Strategy. And she helps Spritzer to drive innovation, sustainability, and export expansion. So my first question, Spritzer export to multiple countries and has a unique story rooted in Taiping's rainforest. How do you keep your brand consistent across such a diverse international market?
Okay.
Boleh campur-campur, yeah, you can speak in Malay as well.
Yeah, so I'll do a bit of mix, but primarily would be English, okay? So back to this word, brand consistency, right? What is brand? So, kena faham apa itu jenama. There's a difference between brand versus marketing, okay? Brand is what your consumers feel. Yeah, it's on the mind. It's at the back of the mind, what they feel about your brand. Marketing is all the activities you've been doing, your ads, your promotions. So it triggers the five senses, yeah, what you see, what you hear, right? So you guys have been spending a lot of effort on marketing. Spritzer did the same. Consistent content that goes out to your audience build the brand, okay? Now, what Spritzer has adopted is we have this strategy called always on. So what we did is, on certain media platforms like TikTok or social media, we have consistent content stemming out from our own brand as well as the content creators themselves. And this is a very important strategy because when the product and the brand gets to consumers from time to time, then it builds familiarity, right? Now the content nowadays on social media is very fragmented, very diverse, and in fact very cluttered. So for your brand, you need to define what area you want to focus on. Spritzer focus a lot on wellness and health, as well as sustainability. Why? Because our product itself has this intrinsic quality to really deliver good health. That's why we can own this space. So the content that we produce needs to be also very consistent. Yeah? And when we build consistently, always on throughout the whole year, that is when we build familiarity. Familiarity means sales, preference of your product and your brand. Now let's talk about international market. To be very realistic, I know most of the SMEs here doesn't have a lot of budget. So don't think about investing heavily on marketing. Start with product packaging. Your context is you need to win with a very attractive product packaging. And to define attractive means what? Find out what is the key elements and the assets that are distinctive on your packaging itself. So I give you an example for Spritzer. When people look at Spritzer bottle, in one glance, what they can see, turquoise cap, unique shape of the bottle, the rainforest image, right? And the word mark, Spritzer. In fact, there are 6 Spritzer brand printed in this entire packaging. So this itself are called distinctive assets that helps to project your brand image in international market. And the more people are holding your product, drinking your product, talking about your product, that itself drives branding. So get the packaging really right. That is one. Second thing, when you wanted to promote in international market, the assets that you have, the point of sales material, your buntings, your banners, your so-called sales kit to your distributors, to your retailers, focus on the lens of your audience. What do your customer will be impressed upon? Pull out those important information to display to them. Yeah? For retailers and distributors, give them more information as much as possible, but focus on impressing them, inspiring them. So if you see a lot of content that is not inspiring, don't do it. Turn and shift the copy and the visual impact differently. Make it impactful. When it comes to consumers, adopt this thing called 3-second glance. When they see in 3 seconds, how do they feel about your ad? You need to learn to give a scoring to it. I score 8 out of 10 in terms of appeal. I score 8 out of 10 in terms of relevance. Then your ad triggers attention and therefore interest for your product. So that is how for Spritzer we have been driving consistency, mainly driven from the always-on strategy, consistently being, seeing our brand content out, as well as our packaging. Very distinctive, no competitors are copying us, and that's how we build that.
Okay, thank you for sharing Spritzer strategies in building your branding consistency. Okay, seterusnya saya akan bersiaran, akan memperkenalkan kita punya panelis keempat, iaitu Puan Zuhaila Akmal Siddiq, Matrik punya pesuruh jaya perdagangan yang berada di pejabat Matrik di Paris. Hi Zu, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay.
Hi Cik Diana. Hi everyone, good morning.
Okay, fantastic. So first I would like to, saya nak perkenalkanlah dulu Puan Zuhaila ni kepada kita punya audience di sini. Puan Zuhaila ni ialah Trade Commissioner di Madrid Paris. Sebelum ini dia pun telah ditugas di pejabat Madrid Frankfurt. So Puan Zuhaila memang sangat aktif dalam mempromosikan sektor-sektor seperti fashion, automotive, aerospace, F&B. Okey, soalan saya kepada Zuhaila, dari you punya pemerhatian, apakah kekuatan jenama PKS yang berjaya di Perancis? Apakah yang boleh usahawan Malaysia pelajari?
Okay, terima kasih banyak Cik Jana, and selamat pagi pada semua. Saya rasa seronok dapat berjumpa dengan semua walaupun secara atas talian. I'm sure that there are some familiar faces there. Jadi berbalik pada soalan tadi Cik Diana, ya, kalau kita tengok pada pasaran Eropah ni, dan dua contoh, memandangkan saya pernah berada di Jerman dan Perancis, saya boleh beri dua contoh lah. Di Eropah ni ada banyak penekanan dalam elemen value. So it's a very value driven market. So bila kita nak cakap pasal nilai, dia ada dua bentuk nilai yang saya rasa PKS kita perlu beri perhatian. Yang pertama, nilai sedia ada, yang mesti ada. Contohnya dari segi persijilan, certification, adhering to the local regulations. Yang keduanya, nilai tambah. So nilai tambah ni kita nak cakap pasal storytelling, naratif jenama kita, produk kita. Sebab bila kita bercakap pasal Eropah ni, orang Eropah ni, consumer dekat sini, dia suka bercerita. Dia akan spend masa untuk tahu siapa behind that product, macam mana produk ni dibuat, dan apa yang buatkan produk ni unik. Jadi saya rasa banyak PKS kita, dan ini juga agak common lah. Bila kita nak masuki pasar antarabangsa ni, nombor satu tentunya kita kena ada KYC. Tadi saya ada dengar dia cakap pasal KYC, tapi kena juga ada KYM, know your market. Maksudnya kita kena test dulu market ni, explore market ni, supaya kita faham tahap kesiapsiagaan syarikat kita di pasaran, satu-satu pasaran tu, terutamanya di Eropah. Memang sangat-sangat penting untuk PKS kita ambil masa untuk buat market intelligence. Jadi macam matrik ni, kita ni of course satu badan agensi kerajaan. Kita ni boleh, PKS boleh lihat kita ni macam public consultant. Tapi kebanyakan masa adalah banyak juga company yang bila dia reach out pada kita, dia akan tanya, okey, boleh tak beritahu pasal-pasal ni macam mana, situasinya, the kind of preferences. Tapi kadang-kadang jarang. Kebanyakan syarikat akan minta terus akses pada database pengimport. Ini sebenarnya okey, tapi saya rasa sebelum kita nak menjual, kita kena tahu macam mana nak jual produk tu dekat satu pasaran. Jadi saya rasa kadang-kadang ada satu langkah ni, satu step yang kadang-kadang PKS kita perlu letak lebih banyak energi dan resources supaya in the future dia punya langkah tu, dia punya strategi tu kena dan relevan. Dan satu lagi elemen yang kita perlu tahu, banyak syarikat-syarikat di Perancis ni, contohnya dia orang ni banyak beri penekanan dari segi storytelling, sebab dia nak build satu local community around produk dia. Jadi kadang-kadang saya rasa untuk build satu community dalam satu pasaran yang sangat kompetitif macam Eropah ni is very important. It's a critical step for SMEs to take. So jadi saya rasa dalam aspek ni PKS di Eropah dia banyak bagi penekanan dalam elemen persediaan tu. Sebelum nak akses satu market tu, dia letak banyak energi kat situ sebab dia nak make sure langkah dia seterusnya tu lebih efektif. Jadi nilai tambah macam inovasi, kelestarian, semua elemen ni perlu ada good articulation. So satu lagi elemen yang kita perlu tekankan is the ability to articulate well. So nobody knows your product better than yourself. But before you want to start selling it to a market, let alone a global market, you must know macam mana kita nak artikulatekan penceritaan kita itu dalam aspek yang dari segi yang relevan kepada mentaliti pasaran tu. Kita perlu faham cara kita berfikir di Malaysia dan cara kita berfikir dalam bahasa Malaysia pun kadang-kadang berbeza dengan cara kita berfikir dalam bahasa Inggeris contohnya. So sama juga elemen ni bila kita pakaikan pada pasaran antarabangsa, consumer di Eropah ni, diorang ni discerning, value driven. Jadi ini yang boleh saya observe lah over the years. Jadi saya harap maklumat ni dapat sedikit sebanyak membantu syarikat-syarikat kita.
Okay, terima kasih Zu. Satu perkongsian yang sangat menarik yang mungkin boleh diambil amalkan ataupun dia. Sekarang ni kita nak membuka sesi ini untuk sesi Q&A. Kita akan ambil 3 soalan. Kalau ada soalan, ambillah peluang untuk mendapat ilmu yang lebih lanjut daripada company-company dan konsultan macam Puanisa dengan Julie dengan Spritzer. It's a very established company. They have they have proven strategies because dia punya their brand has been exported to many countries. So sila ambil peluang, kita bagi 3 soalan. Ada tak? Yeah.
Hello. Hi, my name is Valerie Das. I'm from Chocofact Malaysia Sdn Bhd. We're a chocolate manufacturing company in Bani. I apologize if I'm reading my phone because I just want to get my question right. So, we have been around for the past 18 years. Our business is predominantly export. We've exported to over 21 countries worldwide. Since we're a B2B business, our customers are retailers, wholesalers and traders. We have 15 of our own brands and we also do OEM and private labeling. Our marketing efforts so far has been attending trade shows and email marketing. Are there any advice or suggestions on how we can improve our branding as a B2B business? Thank you.
Martin, maybe I let Martin answer it first.
What were the questions?
The question, how can they improve their branding? They've been exporting to more than 21 countries. They are chocolate manufacturer. So their business strategy mainly participation in international trade show.
Let me, sorry, I just now I was interrupt something. Okay, you see, when you export to so many countries, I will believe you know very well that there are many challenges. Actually, to be frank, when I say challenges, means Malaysian product that going abroad to many countries. One of the things that a lot of crises you face actually like trade barriers, all right? And challenges like this, it's always causing a lot of setback. Even among the ASEAN country, Malaysia want to go to even Philippines, Thailand, and others, even Indonesia. We face all these challenges, that kind of thing. So to me, I always feel that this is part and parcel. The last 20 years, we face all these kind of things. At the end of the day, we still have to work very closely with our partners there. Just like for my brand, Little Julie, when I pass it to them, means I pass my daughter to them, right? For my agent to take care of my daughter. Once my daughter get big, it's still my daughter, my brand. I still will take back. So they will still face a lot of challenges, okay? The challenges, I believe, in the last 5-10 years, you know what they're facing. COVID crisis, right? Forex issue, shipping costs, and all these things. So what I always advise to everyone, we must always be there for them, whatever situation, right? Because there are good time and bad time, and sometimes there are ugly time. But if you are right there for them to work closely with them, I think I will believe that at least they know that you are actually all the time, regardless of what situation you are there for them. Me to say is work together with them and build the brand over there, because it's not easy. But over the time, you will face still challenges.
So you're meaning consistency in pursuing and building trust with your client. Okay, maybe Spritzer had
I'll give my opinion now. So B2B in 21 countries right now you are. Okay, so you have to really be clear. Are you looking at deepening to expand within these 21 countries to sell more? Or is it you're going to more markets beyond this 21. So you have to get the objective right first, all right? Now, if your strategy is to go deeper into this 21 market, there are two advice that I will give you. One, you position your brand as a subject expert. Means produce content that makes people feel impressed, kagum, you know. So subject expert means you talk a lot about what is your chocolate quality, how is the process, how do you put up videos to amplify visuals, people enjoying the experience of it. Bring all this content to your distributor and identify together what are the cost-effective platform that you can get this content out. Because and if you are really focusing on B2B, LinkedIn is a very important platform as well. Ensure your distributor on LinkedIn start to push all this wonderful content that you have, because all their customers will be looking at it, and if they are interested, they will actually order more from you. The second strategy is testimonial strategy. You will need to get your distributor to help identify who are your top 10 customers. Try to get an approach and get videos. Why do you buy my chocolate? Tell me 2 reasons. Let them explain. Collect all these testimonials together, put into an asset which you can then take them to expand to other countries. Look, I'm in 21 countries. This is what customers are saying about our chocolate. So testimonial strategy is very important to build and impress, all right? So subject expert, you are the best chocolate producer and manufacturer. Second, testimonials. Customers are enjoying it because of that few reasons. Own them. Use this as your selling asset. Expand. All right?
Okay, thank you. Puan Manisah, you have something to say?
I had one more point to add on. I think the points that my fellow panelists have made are very good. Over 15 years, actually, not just because you're operating outside of Malaysia, even if you are just operating inside of Malaysia, you need to look at the changes in customer behavior. Because, especially in your case, although you supply B2B, but it's actually ultimately a B2C product, right? It's quite similar to Spitzer. And over 15 years, your customers have actually changed. The decision maker, the paymaster has changed. The children who was once only consuming are now the adults. And then if you look at the current children, very different. In fact, if you look at the Gen Alpha, you find that the power of persuasion is more, I would say, extremely, there's an extreme push that you get from Gen Alpha compared to Gen Z when they were children, Gen Y when they were children. So this is an advice for any brands, for yours, in the case of export market, each country, you need to look at the change in consumer behavior, to look at changes in preferences, changes in products that is required, changes in platforms that they use. Because if let's say you have to start moving towards a different platform, not to the B2B, to create awareness about the brand, then that's something that you need to address as well. Okay?
Okay, terima kasih atas perkongsian. Do we have time? Ada masa lagi? Untuk another question? Satu lagi. Okay, satu lagi soalan kalau ada.
Okay, hello, I'm Susan from Baby Love, a brand established since 1983. It's more like a kampong brand, but not, it's already in Singapore and Brunei. But anyway, my question is, from your experience from our panel speakers, what was the most instrumental milestone or strategic decision that enabled your company to make a quantum leap towards going global? And if you had the chance to do it again, what would you do differently? Because my dilemma now is, people are not very brand loyalty. And then a lot of things can go cross-border, direct from China factory through Taobao to consumer. So it's S to B to C now these days, and more social media enable. A lot of people don't really need to go B2B to buy consumer goods anymore. So the challenges is not like those days, maybe 20, 30 years ago, maybe going international trade show, or maybe Pizza has been building the brand for so many years already. But for us at this era, the digitalization is an opportunity, but it's also a challenges that is quite difficult for us to bring about because we don't have so much resources and money to test or to fail.
Silakan, Martin.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Yes, it's true. It's not easy nowadays, to be frank, especially post-COVID. Things change very fast. And I would say, example, like a country like China, totally changed a lot after this COVID. My business there was good before COVID. After COVID, totally landscape changed. Business down for quite a lot, to be frank with you. But of course, lately, the last years, it slowly bounced back. But one of the things that we did, because when the total shift, especially like suddenly, you will see that everyone is buying online. All right. I mean, we only have 5 to 10% business from online. Okay. But suddenly after COVID, I mean, last year it went up to 50%. But what happened to the offline? Okay. And to be frank, especially the offline, you will see that many big hypermarkets are disappearing. Then suddenly you can see the small format. So anyway, to answer your question, is very complex in a sense because we work very closely with each and every one of our agents very closely because every country are totally different in a way. We cannot adopt Malaysia and China and Taiwan or even UAE the same. Okay, for example, like China. So we know that people are buying things online and people are going into that kind of angle. And then not only that, today they see your jewelry today like this. Last time they see differently. Today they say if you don't make any changes, you are no longer appealing to them. So how are we going to do that to engage with this kind of people? So definitely there will be a lot of communication through social media. All right, and even whatever you see today in Malaysia is totally different from what you see in China in terms of our packaging, our look and everything. Because what the consumer want is what is for me, not what is for my mother.
Okay, thank you. Okay, maybe Zuhaila, maybe you boleh jawab bagi pihak what is happening in France ataupun Europe in terms of digitalization. Mungkin bagi perkongsian sedikit. Soalan tadi berkenaan dengan the challenges of digitalization your business.
Yes, thank you so much. I know we don't have much time, tapi maybe I boleh bagi some tips. Dekat Europe ni banyak yang manfaatkan teknologi AI. So saya nak cadangkan pada semua PKS kita untuk manfaatkan teknologi AI untuk bantu percepatkan identifikasi blue ocean you. Sebab saya rasa kompetitif, the markets are very competitive right now, with various platforms, various avenues to access a market. So gunakan AI nombor satu untuk discover you punya blue ocean. So and then come up with a strategy. Dalam satu market tu, contohnya kita ada banyak access point. So contohnya dekat Perancis ni, tak semestinya semua kena pergi Paris. Semua boleh pergi juga ke state-state lain dalam Perancis ni. Setiap negeri ataupun state dalam negara Eropah ni kadang-kadang dia punya behavior tu berbeza-beza. Jadi gunakan AI, manfaatkan kita punya business information center untuk dapatkan data not only the current markets but the future markets. So contohnya dekat Eropah, Jerman, Perancis, of course, these are very advanced markets, but you can also take a look at Eastern European markets. So pay attention to the demand there. And I think in terms of managing the supply chain, especially relationship you dengan buyer, distributor, dari segi management of harga tu, cost tu, kita rasa ada ruang untuk kita play around compared to some of the advanced markets. So I think this is very important. Then please expand, put a lot of resources in expanding your network. Dalam perniagaan ni, network is everything. So you need to of course have a good contact, a group of people that you can rely on dalam market ni, selain pada matre, tapi dalam on the ground people, you know, distributors. This is very important. Sometimes kita punya mentality dekat di Malaysia ni, bila kita nak jual terus. Bila dengan pengedar pun, kita nak pengedar beli terus barang kita. Pengedar, roll it is mengedar. You know, jadi kadang-kadang kita kena ada very specific understanding and then strategy to pakai access.
Thank you.
Cik Di.
Thank you. Okey, kita ada ruang untuk satu lagi soalan. Okey, kalau tak ada, ada.
Sebentar, dia tak biasa karaoke. Sekejap, dia on microphone. Are we good, madam?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Cecilia. I'm a packaging manufacturer and also retail branding. So I enjoyed the session. Now, my question is, how do we educate Malaysian brands on the importance of packaging for the export market to help them to scale globally? Thank you so much.
I think maybe Fraser tadi very specific about packaging.
Okay, thanks for the question. So the question is, how do you educate the importance of packaging, right, to businesses so that they can export? So if you are, back to your business, if you are a packaging manufacturer, right, what you can actually potentially do is to work with your customers, right, who you also identify to have fantastic packaging, and get them to elaborate how important the packaging has helped them in their business. What are the things that the consumers can associate when it comes to packaging? So let's go back to Spritzer as a good example, right? When we change to this new packaging, we make it very, very clear. Every single element that you see on this packaging is with a purpose in mind. Like you see, this rainforest is to show that we actually source the water from our 400-acre rainforest in Taiping. So you get a pure natural water, and that's where the droplet identity comes in to show that it's so pure. We also put in a lot of the other thing, which is the USPs. So made with recycled plastic is also in our packaging. Quality assurance taste test, superior taste test is icon is also on our packaging. So quality is very important for you to bring it up in international market. Now the reason why packaging is important is because of this thing called perceived value. You are competing with local brands and also imported brands in other markets. So what you want to build is a perceived value that you are better than others. Perceive is a belief, it's not the truth, yeah? Perceive is a perception. So to create this perception that this spritzer is really from the source of pure water in the aquifer of rainforest in Taiping, that's what we project through the packaging. And because of this, it really helped us to boost our sales. People, just by looking at the product itself, feel appealed by it. That is where the interest will come next. Okay. So how do you want to push this? Get more and more of your customers to talk about it. Put all this content onto your LinkedIn, onto your collaterals, send it out in EDMs. Yeah?
Thank you, Ms. Chan.
Yeah.
Maybe Julie can, Martin can share your experience with Julie in terms of packaging.
Yeah, as I say just now, no one pack size to suit the whole world. So remember this thing, is it? Because of course packaging is very important to us, very, very important. And we have to cater for each and every market differently, honestly, to be frank. So whenever you see Malaysia and Asian countries and even Middle East, they want a totally different packaging. Sometimes you see that why this country want to sell box packaging instead of this plastic packaging, right? They just want box. So we had to cater for the market. So at the end of the day, it's just like I had said just now, no one pack size to suit the whole world, me to say, you had to study each and every country their need.
Okay, thank you. You have the last one, Manisah?
On packaging, I think the advice is to the packaging manufacturer.
So it's possible, please.
The advice is to the packaging manufacturer on how to educate. I mean, Brand Geeks, we've been working on PKS education for the last 14 years, and we find that the education of the need of not just packaging but having a brand that goes with the packaging is a big effort. But if I draw from my experience of doing technology transfer for invention from universities, something that I think you can do is actually consider knowledge exchange or knowledge transfer is a necessary step when it comes to working with PKS. You need to have education on the significance of packaging, so that when it comes to the take-up of your packaging solutions, that is something that is a no-brainer. You need to invest, okay, in that sense. But you can always collaborate with parties like Brand Geeks, where we are already doing that education. So we can collaborate, and then you can then take it on from there.
Okay, terima kasih. Zuhaila, what do you think about in terms of packaging in France atau in Europe? What can the Malaysian company learn about the packaging dekat sana?
Di Eropah ni, di EU, kesatuan EU terutamanya very strict. So contohnya kita kena declare berapa banyak percentage recycle materials yang kita guna dalam packaging kita, dan the transparency of how you manage the packaging, from the start to the end, tu pun kena clear dengan you punya buyer. So a lot of times when we present Malaysian brands, a lot of the buyers will look at the packaging dulu, then they will make a remark on the packaging. I've heard many feedback, this packaging, this company, the packaging is good. Most of the buyers will comment on the packaging, and there are also buyers who say, this packaging is not good, and they will put down the product. So packaging memang very important, sangat penting untuk company cakap di Malaysia untuk tekankan pematuhan dari segi undang-undang dan estetik packaging tu, dan inovasi packaging tu, sama ada dia mudah pegang, mudah buang, mudah dilihat. Clear packaging is also a big trend in Europe and also in Korea, I believe. So I think these are the things, elemen-elemen penting dari segi packaging yang syarikat kita perlu beri lebih penekanan. Jangan invest dalam packaging yang murah, invest dalam packaging yang ada value jangka panjang.
Okay, terima kasih Zuhaila. Okay, kerana masa tidak mengizinkan kita, kita dah sampai ke penghujung sesi ini. Saya ingin ucapkan terima kasih kepada semua ahli panel kita dan juga kepada TC Zuhaila di Paris atas perkongsian yang telah diberikan bersama audiens hari ini. So maybe saya nak recap antara perkara penting yang kita belajar hari ini ialah berkenaan dengan konsistensi jenama bukan pilihan, ialah satu keperluan bila kita nak ekspor. Penyesuaian budaya tempatan penting, tetapi identiti jenama jangan hilang. Kolaborasi dan konsortium boleh membantu PKS hingga kita melangkah lebih jauh. Dan yang paling penting, usahawan kena berani buat kerja dan do your research dan start exporting now. Okay, saya sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Cik Nurdiana Abdullah dan juga semua panelis kita. We'd like to invite our panelists to please rise, and also in light of all the knowledge that you've passed to us today, we'd like to, of course, sebagai tanda ucapan terima kasih Majlis Penjemput Yang Berusaha Encik Abu Bakar Yus, Timbalan Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Akselerasi Ekspor Menteri, untuk penyampaian momentum kita kepada ahli panel dan juga moderator kita. Terima kasih kita ucapkan. Dan dalam kita hayati the gems that we've heard from this session, saya sebenarnya pengacara tau. Once it's done, I'm supposed to sit down. But I cannot help but stand here as an usahawan myself. Minta maaf, saya celup kaki sebagai lelaki di sini. Lots of useful tips, especially for those who deal with products. Services pun ada juga. Antara strategi kita di sini banyak yang boleh digunakan to customer trends across cultures. Sekali lagi terima kasih kepada ahli panel dan thank you to all moderators. Well, let's give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We're missing our moderator and our lady for a photo opportunity. Let's step forward, please. Cik Nordiana, silakan. And of course, representative from Sprinter, Ms. Xiao Chan, thank you. Some of the more salient points over here is I would like to share with everybody here as well. Data, especially the age of AI, dasar buatan. Data is king. Jadi kumpulkan data dari Petrate Business Information Center dengan penggunaan AI dan juga apa yang disarankan